pretend that they're looking at it from every angle, and it's literally biased for one side. So, there's a utility to hearing the bias on the position, but that's all it is. It's been what it is.
Yeah, but I don't think that he's knowledgeable. I don't think he's knowledgeable enough on the positions to ask the questions, because I don't want him to challenge them. I want him to ask the right questions. I don't want to what Piers Morgan, because I hate what Piers Morgan does. Like, he feels like he challenge every person that he interviews, and that makes the whole interview shit. Because
I agree with you, but then he should have done it with Tucker Carlson. Well, that's leading down Oklahoma City. I agree with you on how influencing everybody to talk, but if he doesn't want to take a position because he wants to interview the next guy, have off the very next episode someone counteract, and you can play that game also.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro is combative. As Ben Shapiro is when he has this Sunday conversation, he does it he takes on because
I love it. I also like
Sunday specials.
I like also Dave Rubin when he interviews. Now his monologues, I don't like them, but I did believe that he used to ask very good questions, and he was doing all the interviews. Right now about his, I don't
he's extremely educated.
Like, I think it's weak. Who? Dave Rubin?
Tucker. It's something that he doesn't know. He's very educated. He knows a bunch of facts, and he's now you can't say he's not just ignorant. He's extremely educated.
Yeah.
But the most educated people are the biggest retards.
No, that's my point. He's not. Dave Smith is not educated. Like we throw facts at him and he gets confused. And he's like, no, so prove that. Yeah. I didn't watch the whole thing, but did you watch with Constant Kissing? There was a third person. Was it Piers Morgan?
Oh yes, I love it. It was really good.
Is that
no, but that was Piers Morgan. How do you say? Doing the debate with.
Samantha Kissing.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'm talking about Constant Kissing. The screen had three windows. The screen had three windows. It was Constantine Kissing. I forgot the third person. I believe it was Piers Morgan and Dave Smith. I remember for sure Dave Smith and Constantine Kissing.
And Piers Morgan was the mediator, and he was a shitty mediator because he wanted to insert his opinion in the whole thing, and he defended or shielded, let's say, Dave Smith a lot, and I didn't agree with that. So it's like, okay, you're going to host a debate, let them talk. But he was inserting his opinion in every single thing. But Kissing was ace in that debate. I like him every time. This kid always makes it.
I didn't like Kissing hold as well on that, to be honest.
I think Kissing did that.
I didn't watch the whole thing, so I can't have it.
I think he did that well, to be honest.
I think he did well because he brought
his partner, what's his name? It's not.
Yeah, I don't like him too much.
No, this is on Piers Morgan, so that his partner wasn't there. But like, the problem is like these people don't hit like the moral aspect of like.
Yeah, you want to do debate from an objective point of view. Who cares? This is politics. This is like politics.
Well, politics is the application.
Yes, but you cannot bring every single discussion to a philosophical level because it's not gonna work.
Well,
you need to get it at a specific level.
If you're arguing just like the concrete, that's a boring conversation to have.
Well, no one gets anywhere with you either.
Well, that's
you can have the philosophical conversations with people that are interested in philosophy, but when you have only 1 hour and you need to break down things, you can make it implicit in your arguments, but you cannot take the time to go to Aristotle and Ayn Rand and the Austrian school of economics.
No.
It doesn't work like that.
Dennis Prager absolutely destroyed Dave Smith last year. Absolutely destroyed him, and he brought all the best arguments. Dennis Prager.
Oh yeah, I watched that. No, I actually
fucking anything. Like, but Dennis Prager pushed on all of Dave Smith's dumb arguments, and he provided the proper syllogisms. And he said, well, you're equating Hamas and blah blah blah, and you can everything you said about Hamas can be applied to the Nazis. The women, children, and Gaza to the Nazis, and that's exactly what it is. You relativize it. You say,
Okay, but anyway,
not a proper way of thinking.
the interview between Kissen or the debate between Kissen and Dave Smith, I think it was good. And Kissen never lost his cool, and he was very factual, and he would just drop very factual stuff. And I think his analogies were also very good. Now, Dave Smith got all riled up, and he lost his shit, and he was at some point like getting all emotional about it and yelling, and like you say, Meyer, I don't think he's educated. He was smashed with arguments by Kissen.
And many Israelis don't want to know.
I like Kissen. I like Kissen.
What's going on inside Palestine? It's a terrible human rights persecution.
I like that.
It's torture and sin.
Yeah, he's very cool.
She's clearly not educated. They're powerful political
It's
forces
scary,
in
wow.
America.
I just can't stand Dave Smith's voice. Like, his patterns of speaking, it's just fucking annoying.
I think it's accurate.
He's scary, what?
I'm a single member of Congress. With your own party.
He was in the Matrix, that's why I couldn't.
Called to withdraw.
He's clearly uneducated.
Publicize the plight of the
Who did you say?
And that is
Did you just say what?
by the very effective work of the American Israeli.
Get out of the
Who
face.
did you say that you like? I said I like him. I'm trying though. I'm trying.
Kissen.
Who did you say you like? Yeah, I like Kissen. Kissen's good. I don't think he fights, so some people hate him, but he's just not as good as Kissen.
He just doesn't speak. He literally doesn't make any points.
Because he has nothing to say. He's allegedly a comedian. He's not that funny. It's like he just tries to be the goofy guy because Wisconsin Kissen comes from a much more educated, but he could much better debate skills. He knows what he's talking about. So he can argue the point.
I don't know why this makes me think of this, and it was a total fluke that I ran up on it, but it was, I think, an Instagram where he put the majority of his posts. I was shocked if it's still on there. But then the rest, yeah, and Joe Rogan put harassment charges on it. Like, there's like, you gotta say, like,
The liver king.
God, that was like, did you go through the Instagram videos? Like, I started watching, I was like, okay, now he's coming off a little obsessed. Like, he was bad.
No, I don't pay attention to any of that cultural stuff, to be honest.
So, me, Meyer, I've always been reaction towards Piers Morgan. Like, the more I watch Piers Morgan's show, the less I like him. The more disgusted I feel about the way that he manages things and how he handles conversation. Whereas the more I watch Kissen, the more I want to watch from him. I've been like binge watching a lot of his interviews lately. He's so good. I really like that guy.
I see that the latest on his channel is a conversation between him and Francis, our honest opinion on Israel. That sounds interesting. It shows
Cool.
check it out on channel.
I don't know what it is.
If you want to come up, but Pierce Morgan is like a. Pierce Morgan is not. He's a normie that has no beliefs. He's just his ideas are in the wind.
You're in the Matrix line. Where are you, Meyer? Are you in the Gaza tunnel or something?
Why do we hate Piers Morgan all of a sudden? I remember being in this room and everybody telling me how great of a orator he was and how
I don't know
ridiculous
it's
he
not,
was.
but he's a great orator.
Nobody has ever said. Nobody has ever said.
No, you do it very correctly because none of us have ever.
I remember being in this room and I was saying he's obviously
None of us have
If I
ever
could-
said that.
well, you can speak for yourself, but you can't speak for everyone.
Yeah, well, I'm speaking for myself, but I have
Right,
never
I'm not
heard
talking
Simon
to you
saying it.
directly.
I've never heard Meyer saying it.
Right, I'm
I've
not
never heard
talking to you
anyone say
directly.
it.
If you feel true about what I'm saying, that's different. I feel like it's paid violence, so he has to be a little bit biased. Listen, I argued in this room in against Piers Morgan, and you guys are saying, oh, he's such a, I love Piers Morgan. I don't want to say
Who said that?
I swear to God, if I'm lying, kill me today.
Who said it?
I argued in this room about Piers Morgan.
Who said
Okay,
it?
but who said it?
I even want to say, I swear to God, I even want to say Issa said it. I swear to God. I swear to God. I want to say Issa.
Anybody?
I swear to God, I'm not lying.
And the reason
On my
I
life,
know that
I'm saying I'm not swearing.
bro, the reason I know Isa has never said that is because me, Isa, Mayor, Dan, or maybe not Dan, but like all of us have like.
This is in fact the
Oh my god, please listen.
quote exactly from Issa. I love Piers Morgan.
Why is the reason you know that it's not silent?
It's because he's such a normie. He has no beliefs in anything, and we all agree on that. He blows in the wind. He has no beliefs.
In fact, the five of us have got a group where we chat and where we share a lot of misinformation and things and whatever, and we always criticize Piers Morgan. So it's not like all of a sudden I changed my mind.
I think now he's being criticized. You know, I don't think he was.
Yeah, he was. We have months and probably like a year and a half or 2 years of having his group, but I have never liked Piers Morgan, and I
So
don't
you
know
criticize Piers Morgan when you agree
Yes.
with him? Is that what you're saying? I don't know,
Bro, I've been saying since October 9th, I criticized Piers Morgan with his
Yeah,
dumb
maybe
show.
you have Sammy. Maybe you have Sammy. I'm not saying specific names, but I specifically remember being in this room and arguing that Piers Morgan is not being honest and objective and asking the right questions. And everybody said, oh, he's really good. I remember.
I completely got that. I mean, Piers Morgan flip-flops on fucking everything. Yeah, I agree that Israel can defend themselves, but I think the degree in which they're doing it, like, there's a nation fighting a war with one hand behind its back. What the fuck kind of view is this? This is
He just wants to be liked, and I dislike that vibe.
I disagree.
I've been a big critic of Israel ever since the beginning of the war.
No, he wasn't. He was in favor. He was supportive of Israel until the facts changed. And over a period of
What
time,
facts changed, Nasir? The facts don't change.
I'll explain how the facts changed. It was a response. It was a justified response. They did get impacted. They needed to defend themselves, Israel. But it got to a point where no one, not even Piers Morgan, with his snide ways and sneaky comments, could justify it any longer. And so he changed his
Oh,
mind.
really? What kind of justification do you need, Nasir?
Right, you
They
cannot
cannot
feel.
return the hostages.
Yeah, exactly.
Down yet, so what
Right.
kind of justification do you need?
Right. They don't want the hostages. Like, how many times do I have to repeat the same thing? The hostages, the families.
It's ridiculous. They're not going after it.
Yeah, they don't want the hostages. They don't want the hostages. Now, like,
I mean, if they don't want
the
them,
only
it's
one
not
that's
like
seeing
that.
Okay, then prove them wrong. Give the hostages back, put your arms down, and then let's see if the war doesn't stop. Then I will be on your side.
Because first of all, the hostages is wrong. We understand that, but it's kind of like they don't want them back like that. That's
Oh,
like
really? They don't want the hostages
yeah.
back?
Well, you can't really make that claim though.
Such
Like
an idiot.
the whole thing, you can't even help it because the reality is that they're claiming if you give us the hostages back, we stop. Until they do that and they don't stop, then you're right. So you can't
Yeah, exactly. Make that happen, and then I will be on your side. I will say, you know what? You're right. Israel just wants to kill Gazans. What if they have the hostages back and the conditions that they said they were met? Then I will be on your side and say, okay, yeah, Israel is just wants to kill Gaza. But it hasn't. Yeah, but so far it hasn't happened.
Right, but what stops? Like you say, it stops. What stops? You haven't
The war.
clarified that.
The war.
No, but
They
this is not.
said the war ends if you return the hostages. So what stops the
This
war?
is bigger than
No, they
just
said
a
the
reaction.
war ends when we get the hostages back and
It doesn't.
Hamas.
That was intended, but then the thing, don't you realize that the moral responsibility on all of these Palestinian women and children who are dying, the moral blame gets shifted to Hamas. You realize that?
No, well, they don't.
The world doesn't shit that way.
They
Like,
don't
the world
have
is not, whether you're right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah, but who cares how the world sees it? It's the
I'll give you an example, right? After 9/11 happened, everybody wanted to kill the Muslims. Fair enough. You went to Afghanistan, it happened, you killed 1 million people. And then you realize, okay, maybe we shouldn't have done that. And I think this is what will happen with this instance, and that is the reality. That's the reality.
That's the reality. That's the reality. I'm telling you the truth. It's the reality. Aziz knows the truth. The problem is you all pretending don't know the truth. Now we know the truth because Aziz told us the truth.
So the reality is, right, one day you guys...
Let me tell you what the reality of the situation is. This is the truth.
Grown folks are speaking. Understand? Anyways, like I said...
Do you understand? Do you understand that you're wasting your fucking time and your fucking life here telling everybody the reality of the situation?
It's definitely not Kitover. He's not winning an election anytime soon, I'll tell you that.
Talk to my AI campaign strategist, Lou G's Tickles.
Stop flirting with him.
My God.
The reality is, look.
Look, the reality is this.
Shut up for a second. One day, the average person that was in pro, this war effort, will act like they were more moderate than they were. And that's the truth, because it was too aggressive. It was way too aggressive.
Way too aggressive to protect yourself from getting murdered by terrorists.
If that's the case, then, when the shoe is on the other foot, keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. Don't bet yourself into victimhood and then try to victimize them. And, just don't do that. Be consistent. Say,
I want to be consistent.
Yeah, just say, I want to kill their innocents because they killed our innocents. Say that. Just say that.
The difference is, it's easy to say, the innocence. But the problem is, why should I, members of a completely other nation have to be consistent with protecting the innocence of another nation when if you're really considering the innocent lives and you're responsible for these people, which would be the Hamas, why would you do that and then cry about your citizens dying?
Well,
I think their plan has worked exactly how they wanted it to. I think it's kind of why they accepted it. They wanted to force Israel to basically have to bomb the fuck out of Gaza and look for all over the world.
Okay, so then if we know that, why are we crying about women and children dying?
Look, because you guys are pretending that you haven't been baited into killing women and children. You have, and you've done it.
Nobody forced their hands to do it.
But
you're not baited into doing it. You murdered 1,200 people.
Right, and they made you do the same. You are equally murderous. It's not worse.
No,
it's not equally.
You're an objective. You count the numbers. What are we doing?
But I thought all we're doing is not a matter of numbers.
It is, because you're an objective.
I see. Everything that you just said, I sound like fucking Dennis Prager now, but everything you just said can be equally applied to the Nazis. That's like saying, the amount of innocent women and children who weren't Nazis in World War II were murdered by, every other country who was trying to defend themselves from France, the UK, and anybody who basically defended themselves, and, the innocent people who weren't Nazis died because the Nazis invaded their country. You could say it's the exact same thing. Israel is defending themselves, but women and children died who weren't.
It's a very small piece of land, bro.
Well, that makes it even more difficult.
I'll tell you the problem I have.
You could say that. That's fair. But it's also one of those things where 2 years into something like that, they don't have any confidence in Israel to do anything if they really can't go in there and get their hostages out after this amount of time. Now, I don't think the hostages are the priority, and I do have confidence that Israel is capable of doing. Well,
they shouldn't be.
this would be a more honest perspective. Just say, you want to kill everyone. Yeah, that's fair.
No, but
I don't think that are evil or whatever. But for now, there have been two objectives for this war, and it's get the hostages back, put your weapons down, and then we will figure it out. None of these two things have happened. So yeah, keep killing all of them until you get this objective done. It's fucking war, and it shouldn't be a time.
Right, but the problem is that the Gaza Strip is not a population of 8 million people like Iran. It's not a state like, Lebanon. It's not none of these states, man. It is a very small patch of land. And the reality is they didn't do a ground invasion because the objective was to destroy the structures, the buildings, make the people leave. And it was never once in our lives. Exactly. Let me make my point. So October 7th was a tragedy. The reality is that they were funded by he wanted them to uprise.
That's the reality of the situation. The Israelis did this to themselves. They paid for it all to do it to themselves.
If I could finish, I don't need to shout. It seems like I'm shouting. I'm not shouting, just John. It just seems like you're dumb. Right. It seems like you're.
It's because the Israelis did this to themselves.
That's definitely an imbecile. No one's voting for you, Congressman. Let's remember that. So,
No one's voting for you either, Aziz.
Stop it.
Guys, we can disagree. I disagree with what Issa said, and I didn't cut her off. I let her finish. And I.
Well, because how to yell when you try.
Right, because this,
I was addressing her point about it's a war and there should be a time.
Right. So this is the point. When we call it a war, again, I said it's not a nation of 80,000 people. It's in comparison to the Israeli military and the allies. This is an insignificant military. This is a military group. They're just insignificant.
Well, then for more reason, Aziz, when you know that you're weak and you know that you don't have the same capabilities and you know that you're smaller, then you don't go and fucking poke the head.
Yes, you do.
Well, then expect the mayor to win.
Aziz, how can you say that and then say, well, there's women and children dying? How can it be?
Because I'll explain why. The onus is on the only democracy in the Middle East, not on the terrorist organization. That's why. You have to take a good time. How can
It's all up to the Israelis.
terrible impression of the good guys.
They are actually acting like the good guys. They are. Hold on, Simon. They are defending. Hold on, I said. They are defending their people and they're fighting for the right values. Very the opposite of what Hamas is doing. That they're putting their people in danger.
Listen. That's the problem is every time you try to weigh out the morals of the Israeli military,
Realize you're on the sides of kidnappers, murderers, and rapists, and realize you love the crime.
Okay, so when you're trying to establish whether the Israeli military are being moral or not, or being efficient or appropriate in the way they conduct themselves, you keep
Everyone should be moral. That is the nature of the word.
You keep bringing up a terrorist organization, right, as the yardstick for how moral we should act. It's fucking ridiculous.
Look at me! Look at me! I'm the mayor now!
A long time ago that went to these laws on rock and posted it. So as notice throughout the community, rocks everywhere telling you, guess what? Murder not permitted here.
Oh my God,
The yardstick for whether the actions are moral or not, okay? And the justification that they're trying to, the justification that they're saying is we're going to protect the rights of our citizens. Hamas does not protect the rights of their citizens, and in the Fed, the IMF is directly protecting the rights of the citizens by doing exactly what they're doing, not just right now, but for the next 5, 10, 50, 20 years. Now, in my opinion, negotiating with terrorists like they've done the last couple of 2 years by not going in and completely obliterating that, okay, is going to cause short-term, long-term economic harm, not to mention the fact that, if there is going to be a next October 7th or whatever it might be, they're going to say to themselves, yeah, well, now we can.
But the thing is, you're comfortable to ascertain that based on their behavior. Why can the rest of the world not ascertain Israel's behavior based on the way that they conduct themselves? It just doesn't.
The rest of the world, the rest of the world has gone.
So many people. Can the world not simply say?
Because the rest of the world is
But
not like us.
this is the thing.
Prestigious that Israel is in a specific
Okay, let's just cut everyone off. Let's just speak at the same time, shall we?
I see you're making
The
a
rest of the
similar
world is
points.
not understand what a country has to do.
Well, I mean, I don't know why we bring this back to numbers all the time, though. That's my only thing.
It's not purely numbers. It's not purely
I mean,
numbers.
you just mentioned it's like the number of people that
But Simon, it's hard to deny that the way that Israel is conducting themselves, if it's just purely optics, so you can say the objective is sound and moral and fair, and you can say all those things, but the reality is that the way in which they went about it, maybe they were lured into killing them, maybe they weren't, maybe Hamas are quality evil and they can.
You just don't like the way that people are dying.
Maybe one second.
You dispute life and death itself.
Just let me share. Even if it's just they've been baited into behaving in such a manner, the reality is that is the objective outcome, and so this is that something that people can put into Israel and say, well, what happened there? And yes, they may have an excuse for each and every instance, but the reality is it is, from optics alone. Let's just use optics. The visuals of what we're seeing does not sit right. That's why Britain has pivoted away.
It doesn't sit right with
Well,
Britain.
Britain is a completely different animal right now.
Spain as well, France, all that France.
France is a fucking failed state. UK is a failed state. The European states are all garbage.
Yeah, but during COVID, the people that refused to take the vaccine or they refused to use a mask was like, oh, the optics of it is not good because it might look like you want to contaminate people. Who gives a shit about the optics of this? You need to act always ethically and morally, regardless of what it looks like.
But let me tell you what.
I'll tell you how I evaluate this. Everybody needs to count numbers. The number is like issue 20,000 people dead versus 400 people dead, and now it's just right. I don't care about that. My opinion, what I'm saying is the idea of children safety, and I judge that. If you tell me, listen, Simon, nobody imagines a full Israeli soldier to go out and just blast into the head, go in, go in, blast the brains in, no problem. I'm with you. That, believe me, is moral. I hope it's safer. But the reality is that one building if I did not say 60, I'd go completely around and end up back when I started. And once we execute the action, if we get our target, people die,
it can move through parallel
that's the nature.
steal whatever I want, and out again. Impossible to catch.
That is reality. It is what it is.
If God wasn't good,
How I feel about it. Now, if you can tell me that there's lobby bonds.
You want me back in now?
Lobby bonds, I'm with
No,
you.
thank you.
But the
But
fact
the
is,
pool could
they're not
benefit from some attention.
legitimate military targets that they're hitting, and that's why
All right, slow down. I'll go quietly. I'll you the second cousin for example. He's for blowing up an ex-wife's house. This will make all the black hands.
It's magic. See? That's my world. He's gone over my world. The door must still be open. Come on.
I'm
breathe and decrease in number. Worried that you're right. If I go, how do I get back?
You can't go through life nitpicking every little thing. Now come on!
Justified costs. Yeah, so eliminating the territorial organization, keeping up the
What's it mixing people?
There's no time. Come on.
Jack, it all makes sense. No, actually makes absolutely no sense, but I'll try to explain to you. Like, please be careful. Things look different here. Things look different here. You can't smash it all.
Listen, Aziz, you're in the UK, you're closer, go help them. You're closer, you got all your go to war, state the whole. My people are.